Thank you so much, guys. Storm and Hurix here for our grand final. Going to be a best of 5 here between two powerhouse teams. Selfless up against Renegades. It's going to be Renegades on the defense first up. Hurix, you mentioned a 3-1 is your prediction for Renegades. Why might that be here? I think a lot of it you said was if they're able to deal with Sinatra. But what are you thinking a big standout player is going to have to be for Renegades if they want to be able to take this series?
I think for them, it's going to be any one of the DPS, and I guess I still don't really know if Mangachu or Saipe is technically considered their DPS, because so far I think we've seen a lot of 3 DPS from these guys, but it looks like Saipe is actually over on the Zarya, and he was on the Winston earlier, so I imagine he's taking up that role with Mangachu actually kind of falling into place as projectile DPS, which I think a lot of people will breathe a little sigh of relief for that, but nonetheless, looks like they're actually starting off with multiple AIs, Megachu, Jer on Torbjorn and Symmetra respectively, but I think it's really going to come down to all 3 of those guys to step up, because it's not only Sinatra really putting in the pressure. You still have guys like Defran, you still have guys like Emong especially as well, who's really kind of been working silently. We've been putting a lot of emphasis on Defran and Sinatra, but Emong has been doing just as much for this roster here.
Certainly the case here is Jer not quite up to, I mean, 25%, not too bad to having that teleporter, or if he wants to go ahead and grab the shield generator, but they find an early pick onto Sinatra, and I think that was a big staple for what we saw Selfless was able to do in their semifinal match, was Sinatra able to run all over the place, and like you said, Among was, I mean, all these guys were pillars to them getting a victory in that semifinal matchup, so finding those early picks and dealing with Sinatra in particular on that Tracer is going to be a key point, I think, for Renegades to being able to take not only this map, but the entire series if Sinatra stays with that pick.
Like picks are working out at the moment here. Jer not managing to get the ultimate charged up yet, but it's slowed down the pace just enough here with this anti-flank setup with the AI turrets coming in very nicely at the moment, but they still really need Jer to get this turret up.
Attack visor coming down from Defran, rather unexpected. No initiation right off the bat, but Jer actually comes through with 2 big picks onto Sinatra and Emong, and that's going to give him all the ult charge he really needs here. Defran's ultimate, I mean, it's not like it was a useless ultimate by any means, but there was no one really at the front line. There was no real point of initiation for them to go through, and it looks like he actually puts up the shield gen, and Sinatra makes the change over to the Ferris, so they dealt with him rather nicely there.
Not a lot of options actually for them to deal with the Pharah too. I mean, it's really going to come down to Sherlock for the most part, and perhaps a little bit Jesus and Megachu to try to provide some pressure as well. But I mean, ultimately, Sinatra really should be able to perform quite well.
Graviton Surge comes down there from Saipe. The whole hog from Jesus as well, able to connect onto Dak in the end. They are going to get the late kill onto Defran. I mean, the rest of these guys are really low. Look at Michael 3D and Sinatra's health. They aren't in the greatest place health-wise, and they're going to be forced to back off of this one. They do have a couple of ultimates to work on the offensive side, but, you know, that Molten Core almost ready to go from Mangachu once again. They still do have that shield generator. This is going to be such a tough push with only 120 remaining on the clock here.
Oh, really nice return fire there coming out from Sherlocky to heal up Juvenile. A nice shield comes out, but they have the nano boost coming out there onto Defran. Defran's trying to find some kills, but they lock him down, only trading Jer for that one. Shield generator still down for them, though, so they're definitely
really not in the greatest position, honestly, with attack visor. Defran was just sitting right behind the payload, and he had the Reinhardt kind of in his face. He needs that high ground. He needs to be in a better position, I think, when he uses that ultimate, and he made the change as well. So Defran now on the Tracer, trying some different things. I like the fact they're doing that, but you know, the shield generator is so hard for them to get past it. Saipe almost has his ultimate up again, Hurix, and that is going to be devastating for these guys to work with Jesus as well, and Juvenile almost good to go with his as well. I mean, Mangachu already has the Molten Core. This is going to be such a tough defense to crack. As they look to get in here, we'll have to see if Saipe is going to have his ultimate ready. He should have it, just a few more percent to go here.
Honestly, the worst part is before you can even touch that armor, that damage reduction, you have to get through that shield generator, and it looks like Sinatra is gonna get eliminated.
Doesn't even matter, man. There's the Graviton Surge from Saipe. There is no one even close to being able to take these guys down. They are tearing through them. Renegades on fire in map number 1 on the defense here on Dorado, and they are showing no signs of weakness in this best of 5 grand finals just past the archway. They have their sights set on Dorado, and looking like they should be able to grab this map number 1 with a decent push here.
Interesting. That's something that Hammers half tried worked wonders actually for Renegades. We saw Vast pulling out the Torbjorn and the defense, and I definitely liked it. I was curious as to why after Hollywood they didn't wind up pulling it out, because that was one reason why Sinatra was forced to take bad recalls, because he was getting kind of pinged down by the turret, which again, Sinatra benefits by being elusive, and when you have that AI able to just passively attack him, force his recall out, he's able, or you basically disallow him from being as aggressive as he wants to be. And when he's not able to be as aggressive, you don't have the spacing provided to Defran, and they don't have people turned around for Emong to just land those nutty hooks and find those picks. So it really kind of shuts down the whole process, and really worked well for them there. We are going to be seeing, it looks like, Mangachu on the Pharah here. Sherlocky, I do think Sherlocky should be going actually over to that Mercy. I think the only person who's not actually on the character that they will be winding up on is Jesus. I imagine he's going to be playing, something like a Tracer or something here with the way that they've been lined up. Nonetheless, we are seeing the same defensive style the last time we saw Selfless on Dorado, which is Michael 3D on the Ana, Dak on Lucio, Emong on Roadhog, Kresnik on Reinhardt, Sinatra on Tracer, and finally Defran over on that Spectre as always.
I gotta ask you a question here. Given how short of a distance it actually is to push from the side of a Renegades here, a single team fight could ultimately mean the end of the map here. Do you like this composition overall coming out here from Selfless, or would you like to see something similar to what Renegades just ran, especially with a Symmetra pick that can kind of help you prolong the match given their short distance they pushed?
The problem is that with it being so close, at this point they really need to take advantage of just like spawn shoving and just shoving them back, stealing time away from them. If you put a Symmetra in there now, if at any point you get backed up by a dive, you will lose the match. So I think it would be worrisome if you went with that. At this point, I don't know, it'd be tough to say what you would go with anyways, because
Emong, man, fighting Jesus all the way across. I think that was max distance chain hook, if I'm not mistaken. That was so far away, and he actually is going to be making the change over to the Tracer here. You anticipated right away. You wanted to see what he could do. He actually found an early hit, but no pick in the end with the Widowmaker. So ultimately, like you said, they have to defend so far up here. It's not a good situation. If they go for the low ground, I mean, they pretty much have to sit on the payload, because a single misstep, and that could very well be game over for them.
Mangachu right now trying to put in some work, trying to find some picks. He does have that blue beam coming off his Sherlocky from Mercy there, and it looks like that's not going to work out to too much as he almost gets shut down there. Sherlocky dropped down to about half HP. Mangachu getting purpled as well, and Sinatra still finding kill after kill after kill. Mangachu finally going to find that one, which is big for them because obviously they do have a huge advantage in terms of spawn distance, but
yeah, I mean, Defran just found one very last-second pick there with the Tac Visor, but Saipe came through there and got the kills. It's Mangachu with the rockets from above, man. Picks up a couple kills, and now they are in a scramble point. I mean, look at the ultimate starting to stack up. They have Sherlocky's ultimate. They have the Dragon Blade as well, and Jesus ready to go with the Pulse Bomb. A single Pulse Bomb here could very well end it, and I think this could be it. Kresnik falls very late. I don't like that from him as Sinatra tries to get onto the payload in time. Defran going to be taken down as well. Sinatra still roaming around here, but just a few more meters, going to be taken down there. There's the Pulse Bomb connecting there. It actually takes down Michael, and it doesn't even matter that Emong goes down. That's going to be a quick turnaround here. A minute 48 capture coming out there on the side of Renegades, who are going to end up taking map number 1, going up 1-0 in this series.
Very good start for them for sure. And now moving into Hollywood, where Selfless has already struggled. I mean, I don't know, man. It looks like Renegades is going to be setting the pace early on to perhaps take a 2-0, but already 1-0 in the set on Dorado here, and certainly Saipe, the big.
Oh, he showed up big time, man. He showed up so big in that last semifinal. He showed up clutch here. I mean, on the defensive side, he got his ult so fast multiple times. Came up big there for Renegades, up 1-0 in the series. Guys, we're going to head to a quick break, and then we're going to hear back from what our analysts have to say at the studio. Stay with us.
Looking for new groups? Old guilds too unruly? sick of complicated, costly VoIP calls? Then you need new and improved Razer Comms. You already know Razer Comms is the premier way to talk with your friends both in and out of the game, but did you know about Razer Comms
Communities?
Communities is a great way to get your group or guild organized. Getting everyone on the same page is easy with community-wide announcements, and with the new anti-spam features, you can shut down the dorks who just want to come in and ruin the place. Using features like mute, kick, and ban, admins can keep the peace so your group feels more like a community and less like anarchy. And it won't cost you a dime. We're talking about the free premium voice solution for your guild or group. Comms uses crystal clear voice chat both in one-on-one calls and in larger group calls. And with advanced voice activation, you can avoid things like embarrassing social faux pas. The day is saved. If your friends list is looking a little sparse, you can use communities to meet new friends. Whether it's a community based on a favorite game or a favorite thing, there's a group for you. So go to razorzone.com/comms now to download comms and check out communities with your friends today.
Razer Arena is the best competitive online gaming experience you can get in on today. Allowing you to set up your own tournaments and offering fully automated stat tracking, Arena is truly the best way to take your passion for gaming up a notch. Supporting games like League of Legends, Counter-Strike, World of Tanks, and more, it's easy to form your own competitive team or join one quickly using community chat. After you've got your squad together, select from any number of different tournaments going on live now. Once game day comes, Quick Check-In allows you to chat in the lobby with all competitors. Razer Arena gets you into your game right away so you don't miss out on the action. Game results are automatically reported back to Arena when the match is complete. And it doesn't stop there. Creating a tournament is as easy as playing in one using the tournament creation tools within Razer Arena. With custom game types like double elimination, round robin, and more, make your tournament your way. Have bracket seating for cups, and even win prizes so you can get everyone playing in one place. With no cost to participate and prizes growing every day, Razer Arena is your premier destination for tournament gaming.
That was as one-sided as it can get. Renegades with a rock-solid defense, and then basically one fight, and they won it on the offense. And they take the lead in the grand finals, 1-0 against Selfless. That they didn't budge. That was really rock-solid from Renegades.
Yeah, it was a kind of a. It wasn't a weird setup, but it certainly worked, and I would honestly agree with Storm questioning their Selfless's defense.
Curix.
No, Storm was the guy asking the question, and my answer to that, and we saw there is that honestly you have to go with Symmetra and get that transporter as fast as you can, because we saw them lose one fight, and that was it. Renegade just ran off with it just after one fight. It was looking good at the beginning of Selfless defense, but I mean, it wasn't enough. And coming into King's Row, yeah, Renegades had a little bit of trouble against Gale Force, but I don't know. With this convincing win on the first map, I think Selfless is in a little bit of a problem.
Rema, you said Renegades, and oh man, did they deliver on the first map?
Yeah, they definitely showed what they have, and I think Saipe again, even in this grand final, he was performing really good, and we actually saw what he's capable of, and in a couple of fights we actually saw what Saipe can do for Renegades, and I think at one point in their defense, I think he probably won that side. So all in all, yeah, I would agree with Dushan, not looking so good for Selfless. But you know, it's one map. They have maybe even 4 more to go.
I mean, I said 3-2, so.
Yeah, Curix said it won't be as one-sided as it was on the first map, but don't get too ahead of ourselves. It was the map pick for Renegades. We're going into King's Row. Curix, you said this is the map they should go for. So do you see them, tying this up 1-1?
It's definitely going to be a lot closer than the one we just saw, and the reason being is that Sinatra's going to be able to slide back through that hotel and really put some pressure on that back line outside of that archway. And when they do get aggressive, it's kind of going to be up to Mangachu to hold the line for them to really put some pressure into the cores of Selfless to make sure that they aren't pushing forward and taking the advantage of Sinatra pulling that backline's sight lines away from the statue area, the main area of that first point. Defensively, I think they're going to do quite well. I think Renegades is going to be able to run the distance. Mangachu is just too good on this map, in my opinion, on Pharah, and because of that, I think that Renegades is ultimately going to steal this one away, but it is going to be a lot closer because I think Sinatra is going to be able to do a lot more with the Tracer on this one.
Dushan, I gotta say, you're the only one on the Selfless side in this final.
Yeah, I
At
know.
least for now.
Yeah, I know.
Like always.
Anything to say in your defense?
I just believe, I have strong belief that Selfless can bring it back, and they already did it once today, so why not make it a 2-time?
Rema, Renegades all the way.
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
You heard it from our analysts. Let's hear it from Storm and Hurix on Kings Row. That's Selfless pick, the second map of the best of 5 grand finals. Let's go.
Thanks, guys. Looking forward to seeing what they're able to do. Like Hurix, you said, Sinatra might be able to roam around a little bit more freely here with the Tracer, especially around that hotel, potentially on the offensive side, more so as well with that point A push. But coming out here on the offense, on the side of Renegades, they're sticking with this dive comp, and we saw Mangachu actually pretty much go off with this Pharah pick earlier on Kings Row. We'll have to see. Wondering if that's going to be the same this time around here.
Already some aggression coming out though as Juvenile falls, and it looks like Kresnik able to find a couple of hammer kills. Mangachu not able to find a pick quite yet, so definitely a good defense for this first hold here for Selfless, which has been pretty much a regular thing for them. They've been able to hold out on the first push very regularly.
It seems to be the case as the map, I mean, when I went up in the semifinals up against Gale Force, this was a really close map with Renegades in them, so I wouldn't be surprised to see the same gun here. Not as precise of a victory. I still would expect Renegades to take this one, but not as precise as what we actually saw on Dorado there. Nice hook from Iman coming through, almost able to take down Juvenile. He's going to be taken down as Sinatra comes through there with the flank, and they clean him up once again, so looking like a whole new Selfless here on the defense, at least for the first minute.
That aggression is not working out as much there for Renegades, although they are getting pretty close to having those ultimates, and if they get into a position here where they're going to be able to use them, I think that's going to be good for them. However, I still think Sherlocky would be better suited on the Ana and Saipe over on Azaria here, just to kind of line things up for them a little bit better, because at the core line, they're just not performing as well this time around.
Mangachu actually picks up one, but there were 3 returned in favor of the Selfless there. Kresnik actually dropped in the end. Of course, the shorter spawn going to the offense at this point, and they have a few ultimates to work with, so we'll have to see Osaipe actually going to be taken down very late by Sinatra, just roaming freely. No one able to deal with this Tracer, unfortunately, here. Still 2 minutes remain on the clock here. We'll have to see if this Resurrect from Jurlocky can come up big. Imong actually got hit there by the pulse bomb, wasn't taken down. Sound barrier ready to go here. Actually just came out there from Dax to try to get something off of it as Defran got nano boosted up. Tackvisor came down, he picked up 1 kill. And this is the opportunity for them to hold this out even longer here, buy themselves some more time for their offensive.
And look at the way that they push this spawn too, forcing these guys to not be able to put forward pressure out, not be able to get out of this spawn. I mean, it's just taking extra time off the clock. They're able to generate some more ult charge with it as well. We see Jesus actually making another swap here, and again, I just don't think that this is the swap that they actually want right now. I mean, I think they really want to get Azaria here. Sherlocky has the ultimate, but outside of that, like if he does wind up using it and they don't have any win off of that, then I really think
there's Dragon Blade though, man. Dragon Blade picks up 2, looking to finish off Kresnik, who's just pinned into the wall by Juvenile, who is actually in his ultimate right there, the Primal Rage, and they should be able to finish this one off. So I don't think the pick from Jesus, he didn't really. I don't think that was the key to that. That was all I think off of Juvenile pinning Kresnik into the corner, and then of course Saipe coming through with 2 big kills to start that one off.
So Jesus, despite not even landing a single shot, I'm not talking about finding a pick or landing a kill or anything. I'm talking about not even landing a single shot. They still managed to wipe the floor with them, and again, big plays there. And ooh, Jesus almost getting himself into a bad situation there with the Roadhog just kind of camping out.
Sound barrier comes through from Jer as it looks like a little aggression from Among and the rest of the crew. They are all the way back on this payload at point A, so being extremely aggressive off of this one. And it's going to open up a little bit of an opportunity now for them to move this payload a little bit further around the next elbow, I think, for the most part here. Still 245. This is definitely holdable from Selfless.
They're very aggressively positioned here. Sherlocky once again at about 60% ult charge here and generating it quickly as Mangachu is going forward and getting some early poke going. A little bit of a duel here between Jesus and Sinatra, where Sinatra has done quite well with these kind of duels in the past.
Full spawn not able to connect onto anything. Here's Kresnik looking for a big shatter and doesn't even need it. Imango is actually ulted up there by the Ana, brings out the whole hog. They're going to save Kresnik's ultimate for the next engagement here. Get pretty much the wipe as Jesus just going to hide this one out and kind of sit in the corner waiting for an opportunity to use that pulse bomb in this next fight with 2 minutes now on the board. He's going to sneak the payload. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Jesus is sneaking the payload. The rest of the team is 5v6 back. They don't know this is happening.
Remember,
I don't know. Are they able
I
to make
said,
it back
man?
in time?
They were going to steal it away. Remember
No,
those
not
words?
the whole distance.
Steal it away.
They got around. Dude, he got some good ground. He really did. He got an entire elbow around the stretch there. They've got pretty much one team fight. That could have been a team fight and then a staggered team fight to buy some more time for the defense there. But Jesus, there's a tag visor coming out from Defran. Can he find anything? Gets Saipe. Saipe had just used his ultimate. Unfortunately, he will get dropped, but Mangachu comes through there with a bit of shrapnel to find that kill. Makes him back off for the time being there. Pulse bomb comes through. Jared didn't quite get hit by it entirely. Nonetheless, 1:15 on the clock. I think Renegades really need to regroup here.
Absolutely do. And despite the fact that they did get some nice distance off that, they still need to win a fight. And Mangachu on the Roadhog right now hasn't been able to really come alive on the Pharah like we saw last time. Defran did such a good job of managing the pressure onto him, as well as Sherlocky, who has now gone over to the Ana and has been on Ana for quite a while now. But Emong, man, this guy has definitely stepped up in a big way for these guys and has put out so much pressure pretty much by himself out there.
He really is. Whether it's on the Roadhog or the Zarya, he can be a big playmaker for these guys. And I think both these teams actually have some big playmakers. Honestly, any one of these maps, it will be another person coming up big for him. But Jesus, of course, made the change over to that McCree, looking to finish, looking to deal with Sinatra. We saw that from Hammers Esports. They made a change. I believe they put Train, if I'm not mistaken, on the McCree to try to deal with Sinatra, but it just didn't really do a whole lot for him because Sinatra is such a nuisance. But their side coming through with another Dragon Blade, picks up too, man. He's being a big playmaker for these guys, and they should be able to get the checkpoint off of it.
I actually like this composition a lot. I mean, I like the way that they're able to have this aggressive composition, and so far it hasn't worked out completely, but they are having an opportunity here to turn things back around. Sinatra getting pretty low here and does have that recall down, so they might be able to just land a little bit of damage on him right now and find this pick, but
oh my goodness, Iman coming through big with a nice hook there, able to find that pick on the Jesus, and that means no one is really able to deal with Sinatra, and I take it back, man, they are actually going to be able to hold this one off, it seems. They're all on the payload right now. Mangachu, the last remaining member for Renegades in the area, and this time around, they're going to be held short of the second checkpoint. What a great turnaround coming out there from Selfless.
Emong filling every gap that Selfless could ever have, and just an actual monster so far on the defensive side, at least here on King's Row. And they really need it right now with RNG up 1-0 in the set. It's a good time for Emong to just you know, basically go from being that silent killer to just coming out to the forefront of this Selfless roster and really being a big performer for them. And honestly, came up clutch a few times there to win out some of those team fights that were perhaps going in the other direction, certainly towards that second objective where we saw him getting a nice hook, kind of starting that one off, getting the ball rolling for them. I mean, Selfless are very, very good about maintaining snowballs. I mean, we see it time and time again with them pushing spawns and getting away with it. I mean, the last time that I think that, at least that I remember with Selfless not getting away with something like that, I mean, sure, a little bit against Hammers Esports, where Hammers Esports was able to turn that one into a point grab, but that one was very close. I mean, the last time I remember seeing it was on Numbani, I think like a week and a half ago, if I'm not mistaken, in an AG tournament. So, I mean, it's been a while that they've been able to be that aggressive and that I mean, that insane to just like go straight to a spawn point and still be very reserved and still come back and still be able to hold on. So I mean, I think that says a lot about their capabilities as players to be able to be in those positions and still get away with it.
Well, it's time for Renegades to make a hold if they want to go up 2-0 in the best of 5 series here. Map number 3 is, of course, Route 66. Hollywood would be map number 4, and Hanamura, unfortunately, my favorite map, as you well know, is map number 5. So really interested to see how far we're going to be going here, but we'll have to see what Selfless is able to do on the offensive side. And like you said, Sinatraa on that Tracer, and you know, on Kings Row, definitely a lot more opportunity for him to get stuff done than it seems like he was able to on Dorado. Right away, Sinatraa picks up a kill on him. Mangachu sitting up top. That's a great start for these guys right now. He's going to be able to recall back to safety, get himself up to 100 again, and Juvenile is just getting melted here by Sinatraa. They're going to come up with a couple big picks for themselves to Fran, finishing off Sherlocky, and it's not even a fight here, because that was all Selfless. 6-0 pretty much in kills right there.
And again, it just comes back to Sinatra's ability to just get in that backline and put some pressure out, find spacing for the rest of his team, and they just push in basically for free. I mean, with a slight advantage because everybody has to look at that Tracer. It doesn't matter who you put on it. If you get yourself into that position, it's just so advantageous for your team to be in offensively.
Pulse bomb from Sinatraa, picks up the kills onto both supports. Jesus, falls back with one of his own. Finally, Mangachu on the McCree gonna get a kill onto that pesky little Tracer, man, and showing some sign of life on the defensive side, but it will be Selfless again, moving the payload forward, still have an ult or two to work with once Kresnik is ready to go. On the defensive side, really nothing as Jesus actually used his ultimate here. So 5 minutes to practically get that next checkpoint. This is a great opportunity for them to tie this series up.
And again, Mangachu not on the classic Mangachu picks that you would expect to see, and that's a big problem, I think. And we're gonna be seeing the Nano Boost come out. The Visor's at the ready here, and he's gonna be able to unleash it at a half HP, still finding 2 kills for himself here and just opening up for yet another.
Looking for Sherlock. He gets in there with the melee attack. There, the Nano Boost came through on the Saipe, if I'm not mistaken here. He's trying to get something done. Gets put on the ground, though. They turn back with a few more kills. He actually kills himself, unfortunately, and what a push from Selfless. They're easily going to be able to clean this one up and take Kings Row for map number 2. Tying actually the series 1-1 in a best of 5 as we head to Route 66. That was a complete 360 from what we saw on Dorado here.
Complete 360 indeed, and again, it was just what we saw in Dorado was them able to deal with Sinatraa, force him off of it, and take advantage of that choke. You know, Kings Row opens up a little bit more. Sinatraa is able to get into that backline, and they just weren't even able to deal with it on that first point. As soon as we saw them getting control of the first node, it was just full control, full momentum pushing, full snowball coming out from Selfless. And again, they're very solid in those situations, and because of that, they were able to really just kind of run with it all the way through.
Big picks from Imong and Sinatraa all game long. Guys, we're going to head to another break, and when we're back, the analysts will take us through what just happened in that game number 2. So stay with us. We'll be back in just a few.
Looking for new groups? Old guilds too unruly? Sick of complicated, costly VoIP calls? Then you need new and improved Razer Comms. You already know Razer Comms is the premier way to talk with your friends both in and out of the game, but did you know about Razer Comms
Communities?
Communities is a great way to get your group or guild organized. Getting everyone on the same page is easy with community-wide announcements, and with the new anti-spam features, you can shut down the dorks who just want to come in and ruin the place. Using features like mute, kick, and ban, admins can keep the peace so your group feels more like a community and less like anarchy. And it won't cost you a dime. We're talking about the free premium voice solution for your guild or group. Comms uses crystal clear voice chat both in one-on-one calls and in larger group calls. And with advanced voice activation, you can avoid things like embarrassing social faux pas. The day is saved. If your friends list is looking a little sparse, you can use communities to meet new friends. Whether it's a community based on a favorite game or a favorite thing, there's a group for you. So go to razorzone.com/comms now to download comms and check out communities with your friends today.
Razor Arena is the best competitive online gaming experience you can get in on today. Allowing you to set up your own tournaments and offering fully automated stat tracking, Arena is truly the best way to take your passion for gaming up a notch. Supporting games like League of Legends, Counter-Strike, World of Tanks, and more, it's easy to form your own competitive team or join one quickly using community chat. After you've got your squad together, select from any number of different tournaments going on live now. Once game day comes, Quick Check-In allows you to chat in a lobby with all competitors. Razor Arena gets you into your game right away so you don't miss out on the action. Game results are automatically reported back to Arena when the match is complete. And it doesn't stop there. Creating a tournament is as easy as playing in one using the tournament creation tools within Razor Arena. With custom game types like double elimination, round robin, and more, make your tournament your way. Have bracket seating for cups, and even win prizes so you can get everyone playing in one place. With no cost to participate and prizes growing every day, Razor Arena is your premier destination for tournament gaming.
Selfless definitely have a few things to say in this final. They showed it on King's Row, Sinatra, on Tracer, and Dafran on that soldier to clean up behind him. Looks unstoppable on at least in this second map.
Yeah, and we talked about Mangachu and what he did on King's Row in the first match in the semifinal against the
Gale
Force. Yeah, thank you. I mean, in this match, he just got outplayed easily. Let's say it like that. And I mean, Sinatra.
Yeah, Sinatra for Selfless getting into those backlines with Tracer, and he basically did what he needed to do. And I think he was the crucial point of Selfless winning this one, as well as the players you mentioned just right now.
Yeah, like our caster Hurik said, I mean, Mangachu needed to have a better game. I think this is actually the first time we saw him shut down. Gale Force wasn't able to do that in the semi-final, and they lost. Selfless, on the other hand, I mean, Sinatra and Dafran just shutting down Renegades. It wasn't as convincing as the first map, going into favor of Renegades, but hey, it's a win for Selfless, and they tied up 1-1. Hurix, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I would go as far as to say that Megachu and Jesus actually were kind of shut down as well, because Jesus is definitely known as a playmaker for this Renegade squad, even dating back to Kingdom Esports, and even before that when they weren't even signed. Jesus was always kind of a playmaker for these guys, and McCree is definitely the one character I think where Jesus shows up, and I guess to the same extent Tracer as well, but he played both of those in that matchup and didn't even find as much value as what Sinatra was doing with the pick that they would have anticipated. That's what's crazy. And on top of that, Emong really performing at a level that I think he was always capable of, but really kind of showing himself off a little bit there in terms of just shutting everything down and making sure that whatever Sinatra didn't poke down initially, he was finding those kills himself. And time again, we saw some crazy hooks coming out, and Emong definitely performing quite well as well. But moving on to Route 66 here, it's definitely going to be, again, a lot of pressure on Mangachu and Jesus. I think Saipa is definitely doing well for himself still. It's still a collective issue. You have to make sure that Mangachu is performing at the level that Mangachu is supposed to be playing at, so that he can at least match Sinatra and Emong's pressure and performance levels. so that the rest of the team can kind of play around that. Saipe and Jesus definitely need to make sure that Megachu is performing well so that they can enable themselves like in the same process.
Yeah, how do you, what do you say about that sneaky play by Jesus on the offense, basically hijacking the payload? It kind of went well for a while, but they figured it out quite soon.
Yeah, I mean, if they would have been able to make a play off of that, either with Jesus sneaking it all the way through or being able to, you know, save a speed boost or something like that so they can follow up on the back end and just kind of chomp it up like basically just I don't know, some kind of metaphor about a shark eating people falling off a boat. I don't know, whatever. But
Yeah.
they, I mean, the big thing is that they wanted to make a play off of that. I mean, that was a great opportunity made by Jesus, and if he would have either made it all the way to the point with the team stalling them out on a fight, or if they would have followed that fight up and made sure that they had a speed boost for it through communication from Jesus, who I'm sure was communicating that to them, that they had that opportunity, then that would have been a fantastic play, and they would have definitely been in a much better spot, as they would have been able to push to that third section of the map with a lot more time on the clock for themselves. But not able to come up with something off of it, I think is a huge disappointment.
Yeah, I definitely thought that was a chance for Renegades to break that defense. I mean, him taking all the attention towards himself should have been something that his team could have worked on and broke the defense of Selfless, but they quickly dispatched of Jesus, and it was all Selfless once again.
Yeah, they could have crunched in that situation Selfless from both sides, but they didn't manage to do so. And still, I think Route 66, honestly, yeah, that King's Row really looked good for Selfless, but still, I think I said 3-2, and I think the second map for Detroit is going to be Route 66.
Let's see it. Route 66 is ready. We are ready with the third map of the best of 5 final Selfless against Renegades. Take it away, Storm and Hurex.
Thanks, guys. Looking forward to seeing again what we're going to have on Route 66 here from Renegades. I believe they played it earlier. If I'm not mistaken, that was them, and they actually had Megachu play the Bastion on that third checkpoint, and they came up with the entirety of the map and then some time after it. So they looked really good, I believe, against Gale Force in that matchup. Wondering if that's going to be the same thing here up against Selfless.
Again, it's all about shutting down Sinatra so that you can find time to deal with the Fran and Emong. Those are that's basically just the 1-2 step process. Make sure that you can deal with those things. Keep your core alive long enough so that those things can happen. They already found the pick here onto Michael 3D, which is going to even things out a little bit and allow them to take kills on the bigger tanks here and control the front line just as they are right now, finding that kill on Kresnik as well as Emong right after.
Some big kills, but Sinatra comes through there with that late pick onto Megachu. Of course, he's pretty fast to get back to the gas station. He almost has that tac visor ready to go as well, so they obviously have the ult charge favor. But if Sinatra can come up with a nice pulse bomb, that would definitely help them out a bit as they try to move this payload forward. He's going to look for the connect. Not quite going to get much off it, thanks to the shield coming out there from Saipe to save Juvenile for the time being. But there's the nano boost coming out onto Juvenile. He's going to look for something. Tac visor from the other side from Dufresne. He actually picked up the immediate kill onto Mangachu. They come through with a couple more Hurix, and it looks like Selfless should be able to move this payload forward and probably get the checkpoint off of this play.
Emong definitely in a good position here as they're able to find a couple of kills. Sinatra and Emong now going to get on the aggressive here alongside Michael 3D, who are all trying to get a little bit of forward damage, not just for their ultimates, but also to try to maybe find a pick here and set themselves up once again with a snowball. We see this time and time again from them where they get aggressive, try to just keep the momentum in their favor. This time around, they're not going to get a pick quite yet, at least, although Emong and Sinatra both in a pretty good position to find one.
Sinatra already good to go again with his ultimate. Saipe picks up that kill onto Emong, so they've got the opportunity to pressure him down a little bit as Megachu drops the sights here at probably not the greatest time. He does get a pick, thankfully, because Michael seemed to be on the wrong side of the board up there. That was actually confusing positioning by him. I don't think Megachu should have gotten anything off of that ultimate, given his positioning at the time.
Looks like Jesus just trying to focus everybody out. They're just trying to hold the front line here without that Reinhardt, who is coming back now. And Juvenile has made his way up top and looks like he's now in a pretty good position to help Mangachu hold out here. And it's a big thing for them to be able to keep him up and then make sure that the pillar of that tri DPS is still holding well.
Sound barrier comes through there. I think that a little questionable maybe coming out there from Jer. I'm not sure the motive behind that one. There was no real ultimates out there. Michael hadn't actually even used his ultimate on anybody, but there's the counter shatter coming out from Juvenile, looking to finish off Kresnik, who came through with a decent one at that. There's the attack visor coming out from Defran, the sound barrier to accompany it for the most part here, and this is the time I would have liked to see the one come out there from Jer, but nonetheless, a big graviton surge from Saipe picks up 2 kills, should be able to find Michael 3D in the end as well and come through and hold this one off for another few minutes or so.
Yeah, another pick on Saipe, or sorry, onto Sinatra is definitely going to be good for them, as they did just lose Saipe, but I mean, by the time he's going to be able to come back, Sinatra's going to be back in it. They're still going to even this out as a 5v5, but we see the engage actually come out from Selfless. They should be actually thwarted here. So we'll have to see if they actually do engage off of this.
Looking to make a bit of initiation play here. Sheerlock, he's going to go ahead and, in Nano Boost, Jesus, who is put to sleep as the Nano Boost came through. There's Mangachu with the attack visor, picks up the Fran, who is in melee range with ease. Now should be able to finish off Kresnik. So they drop almost all of their ultimates there. Juvenile, the only one who held on to his for the most part, but 225 on the board, as it looks like Renegades are in a great position to make a hold here. So what do you think Selfless kind of need to change up here to get the ball rolling again?
They really need to make sure that Sinatra's next pulse bomb is another double that we've been seeing from him. I mean, he's been able to start things off very, very nicely with how aggressive he's been able to be and getting clutch picks on that pulse bomb. If he can land a nice one here, they're going to be in a good position to start this one off, especially if it's onto someone like Sherlocky.
Pulse bomb from him, connects onto the shield, but doesn't get anything off of it. And he gets it so fast, I mean, it's not the biggest deal, but with time really dwindling right now, it's really rough. They've got to get some big plays from him, and they do trade a 1-for-1 right now. Defran for Jared, 76 for Elucio here as they try to make a bigger play off of it. Juvenile still ready to go with his ultimate if he wants to break it out here. Numbers-wise, it's rather even, and spawn-wise, it's actually pretty similar for both these squads right now. So in the end, it looks like the defense may be able to hold off for a little bit longer here. 125 on the board.
Mangachu finding a incredibly late kill there onto Defran, and that's going to be good news for them, as they definitely want all the time that they can get off this clock, especially off that last performance there on King's Row.
Mangachu ready to go with that attack visor. Sherlocky close to having the nano boost to accompany it. I mean, they've got pretty much almost, they've basically have everything ready to go here. And there's the attack visor from Mangachu. Sound barrier comes through as well. A big shatter from below from Juvenile. Helps them put him on the ground and able to clean it up with ease. Again, pretty much, I'd say one final push. One great push, I'd have to say, from Selfless. Otherwise, they're going to end up with a rather odd spot to be held at.
37 seconds on the clock, so yeah, one push left here. Mangachu still able to do so much right now, and Saipe definitely a big reason, and Jesus actually coming alive as well. It's just every cylinder now clicking here for these guys.
Graviton surge from Saipe actually only connects onto one. It was Kresnik who didn't even get taken down. There was no follow-up, but it's a 2-for-1 right now. Only Saipe was taken down. The Earth Shatter from Kresnik completely whiffs there. Only Juvenile was behind that shield. I'm not quite sure what he was thinking here, since this is all Renegades cleaning them up. Kresnik gonna be taken down. I believe it was just Among on the point. He was taken down as well, and they will make a point to hold here about halfway through. A rocky start here for Renegades, but man, they come through and hold a long time in that second phase.
So here's the question: are they going to be able to hold out against that aggression that comes from Selfless? Because I mean, this is essentially the same distance that we saw them get on King's Row. I mean, in terms of the positioning and in terms of like how their relation to the points. So, I mean, are they going to be able to push that far? Are they going to be able to get it to the point where they can actually take this map and make it 2-1 in their favor? Because, I mean, even with Sinatra going Tracer defensively, that still has proven to be quite a pain point for teams. And I would say almost more so outside of that King's Row performance, where Sinatra definitely played better on offense.
We saw these Renegades take on Gale Force on this map, if I'm not mistaken. It was them, and they did really well. Like I mentioned before, they got all the way to the end with like 1:10 remaining. They even put Mangachu on the Bastion pick at the end as well, if I'm not mistaken. So I feel like Honestly, I feel given that performance, of course, Selfless turning out to be a big, turning up big today, as we didn't really expect them to even be in the finals today, but coming up very clutch. I'm expecting them to be able to push the distance here. I feel like their performance against Gale Force on this map went a long ways in showing what they're able to do here, especially if Mangachu is able to go off here on the Pharaoh once again, as it looks like they're trying for the Pharah Genji comp. We'll have to see if Jesus actually wants to stick with this Hanzo pick as well. Probably not going to be the case, given there isn't a Zarya.
Yeah, I can't imagine he's going to be sticking with that. I mean, we did see him going over to the Widow at one point, although again, never hit a shot on that, so I'm not sure if he's feeling like he's fired up to be taking on a sniper role to try to take picks, especially against someone like Sinatra. He's going to take advantage of that kind of thing, but looks like he is going to start out with just a single Sonic Arrow, just to make sure they aren't in that first train there. We've seen some teams take advantage of that, but
they're putting him on Reaper again. This is exactly what he ran. He popped out big time against Gale Force with the Reaper. This is exactly what they ran before, so keep an eye on Jesus and what he's able to do against Imong and Kresnik in particular here. As the initial charge, Jesus gonna get hooked in, and man, I take that back as a nice pick comes through. It's a 1-for-1 right now, but Sinatra pulls one back in their favor. They should be able to hold off this first initiation coming out from Renegades.
But it's not over. Ooh, Imong actually going to close it out. I mean, I was going to say it's not over.
It's not
yet,
over.
As Mangachu had a couple guys pretty low there, but
yeah.
Imong, again, just filling the gaps for Selfless and making the plays when they are in dire straits and needing it most. I mean, they definitely were going to hold that one out, but no one really left to deal with Mangachu at that point. And Defran was incredibly low there, so they would have definitely had nobody to deal with him. So good on Imong to finish that play out.
A good start on the defensive side. They need to buy themselves a bit of time here, otherwise they're going to have to hold quite a lot in that second phase of this map here as they get a little aggressive with it. Sherlocky going to be the first to fall here. Dak dangerously low as well. He's able to make it out for the time being here. Pulse Bomb comes through, sticks onto Mangachu, finds the kill, and I'm very surprised. I mean, they're playing this very far up. What are your thoughts initially on their defense right here? Not really playing back kind of on the gas station where you usually see right here.
I mean, this has essentially just become their flavor. It's basically become their play style, their strategy. You know, it's all based on the composition that they have to play. It's Sinatra here on the Tracer, just making space for the rest of the team and then playing off of it and doing it actually quite well. And in some ways, the best that we've seen them play in a long time, actually.
Big shatter comes through from Kresnik, and it's him and Sinatra cleaning it up. The rest of the crew is just behind, poking them down, and they're basically in their base right now, not even letting them get any distance whatsoever with that payload as it continues to get pushed back farther and farther. Saipe ready to go with the Dragon Blade, but really nothing to work with it thus far. They're still waiting for a few ultimates from Juvenile, Jesus, and Mangachu. We'll have to see if they can get something in their favor here because they need to get it going now. Sinatra gets another pick. Imong comes through with a big kill onto Jesus. This is all Selfless, man.
This is definitely the worry that I think I would have felt here for RNG. When I was talking about it before, can they deal with Sinatra on the defense? Because while Tracer is certainly known for the offensive pressure that it can provide and the pick potential, it's just Sinatra's defensive Tracer is almost more scary, I would think, actually, than the offensive version.
Mangachu just got a pick onto Defran with the Barrage, who is actually mid-tac visor, but Saipe with the Dragon Blade got killed. Literally, he did nothing with the Dragon Blade. He actually ran away from Defran, who was in the time preoccupied with Mangachu on the Pharah pick there, but got sniped from afar by the Ana from Michael, and they're going to be making some changes. Jesus over to that Tracer. Saipe now on the 76. The Nano Boost comes out. There's the Sound Barrier trying to mitigate a lot of that damage. Isn't enough to get the job done as Imong tries to get something done with the Whole Hog. Pushes him back for a little bit, but there's 2 kills to make it 3 men, and this is their opportunity they've been looking for. But ultimately, Hurix, even if they do get the wipe, there's plenty of time to regroup if you are Selfless.
27 seconds. I mean, if they're able to get this point, they'll have certainly enough time that if they wind up just winning, what now, 2 to 3, I think 3 successive fights is what it's going to be, or what it's going to take. And a nice pick actually from Mangachu onto Sinatra. Definitely going to set them up in a good position here to actually get at least one of those under their belt. They want to take this one home.
To see if they are going to look to get onto this payload. They definitely need to make an attempt to do that. It's looking like they want to do that. We'll have to see. Saipe going to be the first to fall as Imong comes around the corner here. Mangachu is asleep, gets woken back up though. Real question is, can they come through with any kills on that offensive side to get something? Michael going to be taken down. There's the attack visor coming out from Defran. This is it. Juvenile going to be taken down. A big shatter from Kresnik. This could be it. It looks like Selfless are going to be able to hold them just short of that first checkpoint here, because they will be able to take down the Tracer in just a matter of seconds here, taking the Route 66 and going up 2-1 in this series. It is now game point here for Selfless.
This is definitely a scary moment here for Renegades, as they, I mean, for a brief moment there right in the beginning, they were able to deal with the Tracer on Sinatra by just taking advantage of the choke and being able to utilize the AI to just lock him down and basically create a situation where he's not able to be elusive, because he's just going to get hit and he's going to get shut down. And you really just need one other person to play that DPS role to make sure that you're able to find that pick potential and lock him down. But after that, man, they just really have had no answers for this guy. And we've seen Selfless just go back to their old ways of being hyper aggressive, finding those kills, and basically just shutting the opponent down.
What a terrific victory coming out there for Selfless, guys. We're going to head to another short break here, and when we're back, we're going to hear from the guys at the studio and their thoughts on that last map. Don't go anywhere.
Looking for new groups? Old guilds too unruly? Sick of complicated, costly VoIP calls? Then you need new and improved Razer Comms. You already know Razer Comms is the premier way to talk with your friends both in and out of the game, but did you know about Razer Comms
Communities?
Communities is a great way to get your group or guild organized. Getting everyone on the same page is easy with community-wide announcements, and with the new anti-spam features, you can shut down the dorks who just want to come in and ruin the place. Using features like mute, kick, and ban, admins can keep the peace so your group feels more like a community and less like anarchy. And it won't cost you a dime. We're talking about the free premium voice solution for your guild or group. Comms uses crystal clear voice chat both in one-on-one calls and in larger group calls. And with advanced voice activation, you can avoid things like embarrassing social faux pas. The day is saved. If your friends list is looking a little sparse, you can use communities to meet new friends. Whether it's a community based on a favorite game or a favorite thing, there's a group for you. So go to razorzone.com/comms now to download comms and check out communities with your friends today.
Razer Arena is the best competitive online gaming experience you can get in on today. Allowing you to set up your own tournaments and offering fully automated stat tracking, Arena is truly the best way to take your passion for gaming up a notch. Supporting games like League of Legends, Counter-Strike, World of Tanks, and more, it's easy to form your own competitive team or join one quickly using community chat. After you've got your squad together, select from any number of different tournaments going on live now. Once game day comes, Quick Check-in allows you to chat in a lobby with all competitors. Razer Arena gets you into your game right away so you don't miss out on the action. Game results are automatically reported back to Arena when the match is complete. And it doesn't stop there. Creating a tournament is as easy as playing in one using the tournament creation tools within Razer Arena. With custom game types like double elimination, round robin, and more, make your tournament your way. Have bracket seating for cups, and even win prizes so you can get everyone playing in one place. With no cost to participate and prizes growing every day, Razer Arena is your premier destination for tournament gaming.
Selfless once again with the comeback. After losing the first map, like in the semifinals against Hammers, they take the lead 2-1, but it's a best of 5, so Renegades still have a chance to bring it back. The next map will be Hollywood, but before that, let's talk about a bit about Route 66. Once again, Sinatra played really well, but I gotta say, Roadhog, it was Among, he had some crucial plays on the defense.
Yeah, on the defense, and what stood out to me at least, is that fast cap of that first point on their offense. And I mean, simply put, Renegades didn't have enough. I'm not gonna say firepower, but teamwork on that on their offense to make it out fast and capture the point as well as Selfless did. And at one point, we even saw basically spawn camping, let's say it like that, from Selfless, and they did play a little bit cocky, but it worked out for them, and they managed to grab a win on Route 66.
Yeah, Selfless started out strong, as you said, capturing that first point, but I think Renegades adapted and played a bit better at the end, managed to stop them. On the other side, Selfless on defense, I think they played much better than the Renegades did, and we basically saw what happened.
Hurix, if you're here, I just want to chat with you for a bit. Mangacho, I think this is the first time, at least today, that we saw him switching it up, picking Soldier, and it wasn't that bad, but his teammate Jesus got shut down completely.
I think Soldier worked out quite well for Megachu. I mean, when he was able to get control of that high ground and stand behind his tank player Juvenile there on the Reinhardt, he was able to get full control, and that's when they did actually make quite a good stand. And that was a good actual moment for Jesus as well, where he was actually performing himself. But aside from that, I think they were definitely struggling together, I think. And going into Hollywood, which is the next map, I think they need to kind of go back to their roots a little bit, what they played out on Dorado, and take advantage of some of the things that worked out for them in that particular map. Putting Saipe on, that Zarya is going to be a big thing for them, as well as bringing back, I think, a Torbjorn would be huge, and utilizing it much in the same way that Hammers did, but trying to get some more pressure forward and focusing on the core so that when Sinatra does go deep, you have the ability to control from that stage and be able to let the Torb kind of control the back line a little bit, as that turret is definitely going to help in trying to shut down Sinatra, as he's not going to be able to avoid those shots.
You praised Sinatra a lot, and there's definitely a reason, and he played, once again, he played really well, but I gotta say, on defense, Among on that Roadhog completely shut down Jesus, who picked Reaper. I think this is the first time in the final we saw him on that hero, but he instantly got shut down by Among.
Yeah, I mean, that duel is often claimed to be a 50-50, and it depends on who's playing it, who's going to have the favor. Since Emong is just playing like lights out all night tonight, or all day, or wherever you're at, I would have given them the favor there. He's just hitting way too many hooks, and that duel completely comes down to whether or not the Roadhog's going to be able to land that. And since he did, he was able to shut that Reaper completely down. He's not able to approach, and Emong actually did quite a good job in that scenario.
And going into Hollywood, interestingly enough, that's the map that Hammers won against Selfless in the semifinal. That was their pick. Selfless lost that, but this time in the final, they're picking it. So do you think Selfless can close it out and win 3-1?
I think I actually think that this is going to be the map that's going to take us into the next one. I think that Renegade's going to be able to sneak this one out. I know I said that last time. I know it didn't happen, but I really think that they're going to be able to figure something out to actually shut down Sinatra. Because as soon as they're able to get Sinatra off of that Tracer, they're going to be able to find those kills onto Defran, focus down Emong as well. Because a big reason why Emong's been able to be as big of a impact player as he's been is because of the fact that he has all the spacing that he needs to actually perform those duties.
Hurix thinks we are in for a long ride, going all the way to the fifth map. Dushan?
I think I was wrong at the beginning. I think it's going to be a 3-1 for Selfless.
Okay.
I mean, they look so confident on that Route 66. So, I mean, they picked this map. Probably they learned from their mistakes in the previous semifinals. So, I think it's going to be 3-1.
No, sticking still with Renegades 3-2.
Okay, let's see it. Next map, Hollywood, fourth map in this best of 5. Can Renegades stay alive? Go, Storm and Hurix.
Thanks, guys. We'll have to see if they are able to keep their tournament hopes alive and move it to a map number 5, which would be Hanamura, unfortunately, for us all. As I'm curious to see, that could be a very, very long map. We'll have to see. I'm really curious. Why do you think, in particular, that Renegades are going to be able to take this map, Hurix?
Oh, man. Well, the hope all has basically depleted completely here, as we've seen them just get deconstructed almost entirely here on their attack. And I think the biggest reason why was that they were going with a very aggressive 4-tank strategy. I thought that was going to really do a lot of work, with Megachu being able to go over to that Winston, However, that definitely did not work, and again, Sinatra going almost untouched, able to accrue that full pulse bomb charge here already, and we're not even a minute into the match.
I was looking at Defran there, and he was he was on par with his tracking. He already has Tac Visor. He's going to drop it right here, looking for the Winston, actually shielded up for the most part, but Mangachu not going to be able to make it. No, he does make it out of this one alive for the time being. Gets taken down. Saipe comes through with a big kill there. Sinatra did actually get a pulse bomb kill in the end. Saipe is going to be the one that's nano boosted up here, but he's got no one to back him up. The rest of the squad is too busy dealing with Imong in the back here, and it looks like they might have an opportunity to get a regroup before a couple members on the side of Selfless are back in the action.
Although a lot of pressure is being, or actually a lot of attention rather, is being drawn away here because of the fact that Imong was so far away, and in their backline they didn't want to deal with the Roadhog being back there, but he was able to sustain himself for so long, and because of that drained a lot of time away. And Sinatra now in a great position here in the backline.
Well, it was it's a 5-on-6 now, and I think they're okay with the fact they had to devote all the resources back because they knew they'd have the numbers advantage moving into the next fight. And Sinatra finds that kill, though, looking for Juvenile. Pulse Bomb sticks. It's going to be the end of Juvenile there, and it looks like the Nano Boost comes through onto Kresnik in the end, and they hold it off somehow. Hurex looking so dominant, only 2 minutes into this one, and a few ultimates ready to go. Just a short second or two here.
And still, Renegades not able to figure this out at all, and really are struggling to deal with this composition. And I mean, moreover, the strategy here that has come out from Selfless, hyper aggressive once again, taking a lot from Defran and Sinatra. Defran, of course, with just so much space to work with. I mean, he's looking like Tom Brady back there with the, like, pretty much just one of the best offensive lines of all time.
There's a nice Graviton surge from Saipe coming through, though no one off the board just yet. Juvenile with the Earth Shatter picks up Michael in the midst of the mess here. Looking to finish off Kresnik as well, who actually charges in deep, finds the kill onto Sherlocky. Nonetheless, the numbers clearly favoring Renegades right now, who should be able to come up with this one. But as Sinatra makes his way back to the payload here, we'll have to see if he's going to be taken down. His recall going to keep him alive for the time being. He's just not being dealt with. Finally, Saipe comes through with the kill, and they should be able to grab the checkpoint off of this 3 minutes into this one.
And Jesus is going to lock that one down to Fran, who had been sitting in the pocket by his lonesome, unpressured for minutes on end, is finally taken out there, and they are going to be able to start moving that payload. 3:10 on the clock is the time that they're going to be able to push it through those gates. And moving on to this second checkpoint through the streets phase here, in front of the bar in the saloon here.
Gotta say, it honestly looked like Selfless was going to be able to make a full hold there. I thought that they were going to just before, you know, they got a little too aggressive there. They lost a couple people early on, but a big pulse bomb from Sinatra picks up 3, gets a 4th one onto Jer in the end, and they will definitely hold them off from pushing that payload any further. They're probably a little upset they didn't make that point A hold because I mean, that was something they definitely could have done there.
And it looks like that's going to be 2.5 minutes now. Again, just a ton of time taken off. You're going to be seeing him getting very aggressive once again. Nothing has actually changed here compositionally from Renegades at all to try to deal with Sinatra. And when Jesus can't land these hooks, that's bad news for for the rest of this team, because he's not going to be able to find that kill. And Sinatra is once again going to be able to find a lot of his own.
I gotta give credit to Imong in that fight, though. He really pushed Kresnik, or excuse me, pushed Juvenile into a corner there, wasn't able to do anything. Mangachu had also got nano boosted by Sherlocky, which was pretty much rendered useless in the end due to that whole hog from Imong there. So gotta give credit where it's due right there. Pulse Bomb comes through, picks up 2 into Sherlocky and Saipe, and they are gonna get super aggressive with this. They did this exact same thing to Hammers Esports, if I'm not mistaken, in their semifinal matchup, and they are looking poised to be able to make a hold here with 1:35 on the clock.
And again, just holding the spawn on lockdown here, gathering some ult charge for themselves, because again, if they wind up losing the fight, they can easily just re-engage later on, because it's going to take time for the attacking side to actually make it back over as well.
Earth Shatter comes through, whiffs it every which way. Unfortunately, there's Saipe coming through with the Graviton Surge. Not able to find anything but Juvenile off, or excuse me, no, they didn't actually get really anything off it. I thought they almost had Kresnik, but not going to be the case, man. The Tac Visor from Defran picks up a couple, and 1 minute now remaining on that clock. This is looking like a solid defense. I mean, even if they do wipe this, there's so much ground for the offense to make up for. It wouldn't even guarantee them that checkpoint.
You see them falling back here as they don't have that 6th member of their team, Sinatra, someone who kind of enables this strategy that they're utilizing. But he's going to come back now, and they have already gotten themselves into great positioning to try to deal with Mangachu in the skies, and they almost find that kill almost immediately there on Defran, but nonetheless, they do find Sherlocky, so still at quite an advantage here.
That was Jer who actually saved Mangachu's life there with that perfectly timed sound barrier, but in the end it didn't really mean a whole lot because he got taken down just moments after as he peeked around the corner. Defran came up with that kill. Kresnik now sitting on the payload with the rest of the squad. 10 seconds left for them to get back to this one. They should be able to stagger back to it, but I don't think it's going to be much of a regroup. To say the least, Juvenile made the change over to D.Va as well to try to buy themselves a little bit more time, get back as a full group. There's the whole lot coming out from Monk. He's just going to be melted, though, by Jesus. Takes him down with ease. Sinatra ready to go with the pulse bomb. He's going to look to connect it probably onto Juvenile. He was already out of mech, so definitely not the best target, I'd say, from Sinatra, but nonetheless, the rest of the squad is going to be able to clean them up. Mangachu gets taken down in the sky by the Helix coming out there from Defran. They make the hold here, and now they have their work cut out for them to be able to win this series.
Only a pretty solid hold, and we haven't, I don't think for this entire series, I don't think we've seen anybody run the distance, and if Selfless winds up pushing this one through, then we won't see anyone run the distance.
Anybody... Oh, I guess Renegades did on Route 66. Not many teams have actually ran the distance on most maps today, if we're being honest. It's been pretty short, you know, either like halfway or just at the very, very end, but not quite able to get it, so... Rather rough day, I think, for teams completing on the offensive side. But this is pretty much it, Hurix. I mean, if Selfless get that distance, they get that checkpoint in about 60 meters there, they will be crowned the champions here, going home with $1,200 for first place. We actually got the result of the bronze medal match. It was Hammers Esports. They took a 2-0 victory over Gale Force, which got them $400 out of the $2,400 prize pool. Second place goes home with $800, so about a $400 difference between first and second. And Selfless trying to wrap it up right here. Got to ask you, what do you think Renegades need to kind of do to get this thing turned around? And your answer better not be deal with Sinatra. That much is pretty much obvious. That guy has been a monster. But outside of that, what do you think they can try to do to get back into this?
I think what they're doing now is already setting a good pace. This is what worked for them on Dorado, just setting up with Symmetra, as well as the Torbjorn. That was definitely something that worked very well, and I think I would definitely, you know, be on board for that for sure. But a bigger thing is that once you start getting a snowball, once you start having these L's being dumped on your forehead, you can't lose your composure. You know, we're seeing crazy stuff like some insane swaps coming out. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, we just saw Mangachu on a Winston. So I mean, like, people are making insane alterations to their playstyle and just to adjust to Selfless. And when Selfless has that kind of control just in like the hero picks, I mean, that's going to give them such an advantage in the game itself, when you can't have players like Mangachu on the characters that they dominate on. And we saw him do that in the last matchup, so there's no reason why he shouldn't be able to do it now.
Well, they went with the quad tank, and it just didn't work out so well for him here. And a couple early picks, actually, rather one onto Mangachu, got rid of his turret as well there. And that's a nice pick coming out onto those guys. And we'll have to see if they're able to continue with this one. Jesus going to be taken down. I mean, this is just, they're all over the place right now. And this is Selfless cleaning them up. They're pushed all the way back in there, and they're going to be able to find a late kill into Saipe. The rest of them, Ana is still in there. Sherlock, he just gets picked up top. Defran is just sitting here with Michael boosting him. There's literally nothing they can do about these guys. Such a quick capture. I believe that was about 51 seconds coming out there from Selfless. We have 5:30 on the clock to get about 60 meters here.
Brandon definitely putting in work here on the Pharah, and it looks like they're going to be able to push this one through with a ton of time now. And Saipe actually struggling to deal with the Fran as well. And honestly, for the most part, it seems like this triple threat here, Emong, Sinatra, and Defran, is just proven to be three weapons that teams today have not been able to answer quite yet. And we finally see a little bit of opposition coming through, but the Mercy Res comes right on through and picks them right
Doesn't
back
actually
up.
get Dak, unfortunately. They immediately lose a couple others, so it was not really a wasted ult, but an ultimate that didn't really get a whole lot off of it, unfortunately. And now Sinatra caught in a bit of a bad spot here, just going to go ahead and die. As Mangachu made the change over to McCree to try to deal with him. But they've got so many attempts here with still just under 5 minutes to be able to push this, and they're already over halfway to doing so. I mean, a single one team fight from Selfless does the deed. They win the tournament off of that. Raj coming out from the Fran, he picks up one, he picks up another one with the help of Imog, and this could very well be it here. It's Mangachu trying to deal with both Defran and Sinatra. I think that's a rough spot, but Defran connects with the direct rocket hit. That's going to be it. I think Selfless have this one in the bag, Hurix. They're going to be taking Hollywood. They are going to be taking the series 3-1, and along with it, the E-Frag tournament, $1,200 to that first place team. Congratulations to Selfless. What a performance coming out after pretty much we said they were underdogs in the semifinals and the finals here, but man, they upset big time today.
Absolutely. Selfless definitely impressing here today and definitely making a statement for themselves, I think, because again, they haven't had the crazy turnouts that I think they've been expecting for a couple of weeks now. And finally here, this strategy that they've been adopting over the past couple of weeks is finally paying off for them, and they're performing at a level that, I mean, I think really kind of surprised people today, especially me for sure, as obviously I think a lot of people expected Hammers to be able to take this one, I mean, closely, but still take it. And Selfless definitely coming through